I know I haven't read this book in a minute, but like I said, I just need to get some reading in. So when I get back to this book and get back into the practices of the book. So yeah, let me just hop straight into it. The seventh law: how to overcome obstacles and win friends when talking with others. The importance of saying what you say right. Really to give lip service to the beguiling statement will not maintain your mental domination over the person. He might consider genuine praise when uttered wrongly as nothing more than humiliating sarcasm. Clever wits make bitter enemies when their jest is misunderstood until the other fellow accepts you as a wit. You better watch your tongue until he watch your tongue. Until he knows you better, my bad. You're saying or writing anything to him with the humor runs the risk of being taken as at its face value. You may end up with a savage foe instead of a warm friend, and certainly you will have lost all mental domination over him. Do the exercise in this law with care and master the art of saying what you say right. Not only pronounce the same statements clearly, but give them the right inflection and tone of voice. The thought or mind power behind the spoken word is not enough to overcome the impressions created by the way it is said. The five secrets of saying what you say right. The proper speaking volume. Don't talk too loudly nor too softly. Talking too loudly is rude, irritating, and reduces mental domination by calling attention to a fault. And your Jack or Jane reveal no disillusioning faults to him. Loud talking even alienates him from you by suggesting quarreling. Speaking too strained to hear you, and time he stops straining and wishes that someone would come up to him and give him a chance to escape without being rude about it. Your natural wit, too, is seriously handicapped when you speak too softly because Jack or Jane might miss important words or fail to understand you, and wit falls flat when repeated. When you speak too loudly, though your wit might seem forced or egocentric and only antagonize, it also sounds bossy, while too softly sounds servile. The well modulated voice, which neither is too loud nor too soft, captures the listener. It arouses a feeling of friendly privacy and builds around you an aura of respectability, intelligence of a mind under quiet control. It maintains perfectly the mental domination which the beguiling statement are selected to take advantage of. Secret 2: the magical power of talking to the other person. Talk to the other person, not towards him. Visualize your words going right to his body. Don't talk to him as if he is somewhere around you and that he will hear you somehow. Don't glance here and there either, but stare right in between his eyes much of the time. Don't split your words into his face, but direct your breath towards him. A clean smelling breath is important for mental. That's funny. A clean smelling breath is important for mental domination. It emanates from the biggest cavity in your body and carries something of you with to the other person. It smells good. It draws him to you and soothes him. But it has to be healthy breath, flowing from the clean, well cared for mouth, but from the stomach with good digestion. When you allow a breath to drift around your listener and envelop him, it has a keen effect upon his aura. It helps to alter harmony with your own. Romantically, the sweet breath of a woman is described in 1,000 poems. Speaking to the subject controls his mind more effectively than speaking towards him. It adds to his feeling of importance as he feels singled out. To make someone feel important to sure inflate his ego, dull his suspicion, and blinds him to the subtle influence you're exerting over him with the mind and mouth. It may be compared to a stroking a cat. You can get away with murder with a cat after you have stroked it for a while, but you pull its tail gently and even tease it to a degree. The things you could not have tried safely before. It establishes complete rapport. And how it establishes complete rapport. Yeah. When you speak to another person, your words take firmer root with them because you have captured its full attention. When you speak towards them, they do not take firm root with him because the tension is divided between you and something else. Not feeling singled out by you, Jack is not complete. Jack is not in complete rapport with you. He has the impression that your words are directed half to yourself and half to him. When you speak to him, though he feels that he alone is being honored and you achieve complete rapport with him. To maintain or increase your mental domination over him, then is easy. That is why the best politicians try to address their followers. And why without notes. When the speech is so important that it cannot be given spontaneously, the politician tries to read ahead of himself so that he cannot look straight at his audience as much as possible. My bad, I'm sitting there reading ahead, just trying to see how long I got. How to feel someone with confidence in himself. Speaking to other person also intensifies his reaction to you, especially in the complete rapport achieved. Such an effect is most necessary. For instance, when you have the need to fill Jack or Jane with confidence, either to go out, land a better job, be successfully socially, to pass on a school or promotional examination with a desirable mate, compete in sports or in a musical contest, or take a tryout of any kind. Suppose your son John, faces a tough college entrance examination tomorrow morning. He has studied for it with a furious energy, but he's uncertain of himself. No one can be absolutely positive of passing any examination after all. Yet, as in any other ventures, confidence can turn the tide. Confidence not only conserves mental stamina, which is required for examination, but it also calms the mind, enabling it to think clearly and recall information which it might forget otherwise. Thought forms alone are effective when John is already taking the test to bolster up his self-confidence. But before the test, what you say to him, how you say it, the best mental domination he can get. Fix him with your eyes. Speak to him. Speak towards him. Don't speak towards him or his general direction. And direct your breath and your words and your whole attention to him. Say, you will be surprised how much easier it will be, John. And you, damn, Marlon, you gotta, let me think. All right, your words and your whole attention to him. Say to him, you will be surprised how much easier it will be, John. And think out to him. You will pass with ease. Just keep cool, and you will pass with ease. Just keep cool. The others who are taking it. They're all nervous. The one who keeps cool is the one who will pass. You will keep cool. You easily will. Thus, he created oneness, a psychic union with John. By remaining cool, besides reminding him through your word form thought command that he will keep cool, his nervousness is it Ebbs or Eves? I never do with that. I can't pronounce that. Don't worry about what you don't know, John. And you will add again. Just remember what you do know, and you will pass with incredible ease. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Relax. Now, you will pass tomorrow. Beware of the falling voice. Don't let your voice fall. If at all, at the end of your sentence, while applying the laws of mental domination, let it fall. Letting it get fall suggests that the conversation isn't ended. Hold it at the same pitch and continue to maintain mental domination over Jack or Jane. Such a voice removes rudeness, brusqueness, and obvious domineering from the association. The other person will assume that you respect them and that you would like to know him better. Best of all, it brings out about psychic union between you two. He accepts you like a trusted brother, family doctor, minister, human relations counselor to whom he can confide. Your mental domination over him is then tremendous, preventing your voice from falling at the end of the sentence. Besides, suggests you have a calm and even temper. Falling voice suggests a curt, commanding, and patient temper. while a rising voice suggests uncertainty, servility. The even voice at the end of the sentence suggests a logical mind and willingness to listen, to reason, not a stubborn editorial mind. Avoid a tiresome monotone. Don't, on the other hand, keep your voice in a monotone all the time. The sentence, monotony bores people and cures and curses your speech, and it will affect, as I said, narcotization. Monotony of pitch goes hand in hand with too rapid speech. Such speech may be unavoidable when your mind is flashing with new ideas, but in social events and in business, your words should be clear, effective, and cannot gallop along. But don't go along with the others' extremes and add too much inflection to your voice. It would retard your utterance, and you would sound childish and moronic. Do so only if you mimic something or someone, but don't adopt it as your own way of speaking. It is best to vary your pitch by a few notes up and down. That is the effective way to talk. Secret 5, don't sing when you talk. Don't drag out your syllables. This occurs when you speak with too great range of a pitch, your voice. I'm only laughing because like I be thinking to myself sometimes. I be speaking like that. At times I'm very either I speak too fast. Sometimes I just be so mute, not mute, but like very monotone with how I speak. And sometimes I don't know how to add like a little spice in my voice. And I think that's just the whole journey. Just learning how to speak better and just being able to become more charismatic with your voice and using your voice as a superpower in a way. That's the whole point, right? I'm trying to get better at speaking. I'm trying to be more charismatic. Throw a joke in there, play with my tones better. Think about what I'm really like. Being better at being able to speak directly to people, not speaking at people, but coming straight at people and not trying to dance around and like be shifty with my body language and my body movements. But back to the book. Don't sing. This occurs when you speak with too great of a range of pitch. Your voice has to drag along the vowel all the way down the scale from a high note to a low note, from a low note to a high note, and then that takes time. Tiresome monotone and contrast piece of your oratory by removing all of its inflections. By contrast, piece of your oratory by removing all of its inflections. I just read that. By varying your voice moderately. It will be musical enough, but not only idiotically over musical. There are exceptions to this. When you exclaim or greet Jack or Jane, you have to extend the range of your pitch and voice and listen to the emphatic vowels of your keywords. Your greeting otherwise sounds distant and disinterest. Whenever the conversation starts, you stop expressing yourself like that. You appear emotional and lose your power of mental domination over Jack or Jane. Only if you are portraying a character part on the stage, if you are a famous eccentric, can you afford to sound emotional? Those who don't know you well, but who deal with you in the social or business life, won't admire you unless you appear to be sane, sound citizen. So don't drag out your syllables. When the other person accepts you as a character, he won't fall into rapport with you unless you are well known for your services, skills, honesty. Try to be viewed neither as eccentric nor as cheerful buffoon. All right, now to get into the exercises. Okay, I'm almost done. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was actually what it was. All right, let me get to this. Exercise for saying what you say right. For not sounding like you are always ordering people around, repeat the following commanding statements as if they were not commands but mere statements of the fact. Get out of here. So repeat these statements. You really got to repeat them and try not to sound commanding. Like, get out of here. Don't ever come back to this house. Go cut your own throat. What? You are the biggest fool on earth. What is these statements? What you don't know about this will feel. Wait, it says for not sounding like you are ordering people around. So I guess repeat the following command statements as if they were not commands but mere statements of facts. What you don't know about this will fill volumes. You are too stupid for this word. Wait, these sentences fucked up. You are too stupid for words. Don't bother me with it. Don't bother me with it. These remarks are insulting and require attack to utterly serious. They require attack to utterly seriously without their sounding hostile. They belong in no civilized conversation, but they provide perfect exercise for training you never to sound like you're ordering people around. That's why it sounds so weird. I'm like, that is so crazy. Later, when you repeat sentences that are not insulting like those below, which could sound insulting, you will sound like a bosom companion. Law is one subject that requires much reasoning. This product is exactly what you need. The color is better than that one. Exercise 2 for not talking too loudly or too softly. Read the following emotional verses from the Puritan George Herbert's The Collar in a tranquil tone to train yourself not to talk too loudly or too softly. I struck the board and cried, no more. I will aboard. What shall I ever sigh and pine? My lions in life are free, free as the road, loose as the wind and as large as the store. Shall I steal and suit? I have I no harvest but a thorn, to let no blood and not restore? What have I lost with cordial fruit? But as I raved and grow more fierce and wild at every word, me I thought, I heard one calling, child. I replied, my lord. For talking to the person, this exercise will train you to talk to the person, not towards them. Reading the Ten Commandments, reprinted below, as if to somebody, as if to somebody, and not just to yourself, and think fully in the meaning of each word, but not to overdo it. Thou shalt not take the name of Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy hath command thee. I ain't lie, I'm not about to read these 10 commandments. I'm just what, but they're just trying to train you basically to talk to people and not try to talk to people, but not talk at people. Really, that's the whole point of it, right? Exercise 4 for not letting your voice fall. Again, repeat the 10 commandments. Don't let your voice fall at any of them. Avoiding the tiresome monotone. Read the 10 commandments, but instead of using monotone through each, use the inflection and don't prolong your vowels too much. Prolong the emphatic vowels of important words, but try along with other articles, prepositions. Even those are consequential. You cannot emphasize equally at every syllable in a sentence. If you do, you would create a tiresome monotone, and emphasis would lose every variety that in itself would result in monotony. Your speech should be smooth, but not boringly uniform, except when applying hypnosis or rocking a baby to sleep. Hypnosis. I want to learn about hypnosis. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna learn. I got a couple books on hypnosis, but I think I'm gonna get a course on it. I want to learn how to hypnotize people. That just seems cool. But it in exercise 6. Without being sacrilegious at exercise 6 by repeating the 10 commandments and a singing song, overly exaggerated, changing pitch of voice, and go up and down the scale as you read them. Notice that you feel you sound unconventional. You sound unconvincing. That's funny. No, because I know when I be at work and I just be making jokes and stuff, and I was just using different voices. I'm a character. I'm really a character in real life. Uh, like I'm just childish. I'm just super childish. I know when I get serious, how to get serious, and I got the monotone seriousness about me. But what they speaking about in this book about your tone of voice is very interesting when you start to really pay attention to it and you start to connect it to what you really go through in your real life, right? So yeah, so just playing with your voices and really just changing them, it's just very like you just seem like a cartoon character. Like everybody, even at work, I be telling people I'm not real. I'm not a real person, but I mean that's just how I am. Even like with this YouTube channel, I'm not a real person. The shit y'all see in this YouTube channel is very just fantasy like. All right, let me get back to this. All right, sing song, overly exaggerated, changing the pitch of voice. Go up and down the scale as you read them. Note that you sound unconvincing. Reread them in a staccato voice. Use the same pitch all the way through, like hammering one piano key. This is how you sound when you speak too fast in daily life. It is not the way to sound. Again, repeat the Ten Commandments, but employ just enough inflection and stress on only the main syllables of each word. This is how you orate them and sound convincing. This exercise 7, will train you to use wide-ranging voicing explanations and yet blend it into mental domination. Speech. Pronounce the explanation with the word and long drawn out emphasis already explained. Speak the rest of the dialogue normally. Try with the following. Hello, Jack. Where have you been all this time? Was wondering where. Wait, blah, 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 blah. Hello, Jack. Where have you been all this time? I was wondering what become of you. Sure, glad nothing happened to you. In fact, you look better than ever. How's everybody doing in the family? Note the effectiveness of this dialogue and respecting it. Damn, I felt it. I felt how serious it was. That's kind of crazy. You feel that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. I'm sitting there tripping. Cause no, I'm just thinking about. I love these type of books. They just make you think, and it just bring more awareness how you speak in your own. I just love like the awareness aspect of it. It's like when you start to gain more awareness on life and just how you interact with people, you see why you're seen a certain way and the reactions and the experience you have in life, right? I'm a laid back person, so I'm for the most part I'm monotone, right? And that's how I am. But you realize that you can get farther with knowing how to master your voice and be able to speak to people and speak mastering your voice. I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Finish this chapter. I'm almost done with it. But yeah. It says, note the effectiveness of this dialogue in respect to mental domination. Although it contains little direct flattery for Jack, it is bursting with subtle flattery for him because it expresses concerns over his whereabouts. I was wondering what you become of you. It testifies to him that you had him in the mind all along, even though you have not laid eyes on him for all that time. The rest of it, sure glad nothing happened to you. The fact you look better than ever adds to the flattery. Read the entire dialogue over again and study the subtle effect. Talk to people that way, even if you exchange only a few words. You influence them with surprising ease. Practice the dialogue below using everything you have learned during this exercise for saying what you say right, keeping in mind the following secrets. Don't talk commandingly, don't talk too loudly or too softly. Talk to the person, not towards them. Don't let your voice fall. Avoid tiresome monotone. Specifically, don't drag out your syllables too long. Emphasize the main syllables in each important word, and erase guiltily over the unimportant words like the articles and conjunctions, except when these should be emphasized. The dialogue to practice. Meeting you was a real pleasure. You struck me in the very beginning as a very deeply serious and concentrated person. One seldom meets such as a person nowadays. Television and other interests absorb most everybody. Damn, this shit's crazy. Meeting you was a real pleasure. It's hard to it's hard to read this shit and like really like force your voice to. Meeting you was a real pleasure. You struck me from the very beginning as a person that's deeply serious and a concentrated person. One seldom meets such a person nowadays. Television, damn. I'm really trying to force this shit. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. This book is fucking amazing. A lot of his books is cold. Like I really wish I had the time to really read them all. I might read them all on here. If I'm being honest, I might read them all. I got the time to read them all. Like I said, it's just a chapter a day. That's really what it is. And then putting the practices and writing the practices down and really trying to do them. Because like I said, it's no point in reading this if you're not doing the practices, right? All right. I already wrote down like the practices and how to do them, but that's the dialogue. And then how to not say wrongly what you want to say right. To master how to do something right would seem all what you have to learn about it. But when you know how to do it right, in other words, you stop doing it wrong. Such is not the case. During the apprenticeship, you might retain a fault which impedes your best efforts, or you might introduce innovations of your own which might not equal the orthodox procedures. To know what not to do when doing something is as important as to know what to do. So it exhaustively have you covered how to say what you say right, though the fatalities of how to not to say it need to be briefly summarized. Watch your repulsive utterance. Don't scoff, sneer, and hiss in the presence of anyone, unless you are clowning or mimicking. These repulsive expressions distort your face and blot your overwhelming gaze. Watch your laughter. Laugh neither harshly nor too loudly to limit a faint smile. On the other hand, you will dishearten your companion. Avoid raillery and sarcasm. Engage in no raillery or sarcasm unless it's sheer humor and the other person understands it as such. Should you disagree with some of his remarks, do so calmly and considerately. And then, all right. And then the next chapter is the eighth law, and it's called How to Disarm Triumph Over Others with Conquering Acts. Now that's something. Now this whole law is something I can really like for real do though. Like I think that all the other ones, I think like even like the developing like the overwhelming gaze and developing the overwhelming gaze and the beguiling statements, knowing what to say and not knowing and knowing what to not to say. It's something that helps a lot. Like I know I haven't did a chapter on this in like a couple months, but all these practices are something like you can do in like everyday life. Like I go to work every day, I can like dealing with, especially dealing with like unpleasant people. I know that what was it? It was like a thought. It's a exercise here called the thought vacuum. Uh, I think they said either focus on a wall on a point and just focus on it, just repeat dot dot dot, or you just repeat dot 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 to yourself, and that will like cut off all negative thoughts in your head. Not cut off all negative thoughts, but it's like a in a way like you in a way it's got, like you hypnotizing yourself. You stopping yourself from having any negative thoughts or just thoughts period. So and the only thing you're really thinking about is dot. And I think that's a very good way to take control over your mind. Like I know when you're starting to really grow and you really a lot of negativity that's in your mind and you start becoming so attached to your emotions and your thoughts, you start to be able to see your thoughts like in a way. Like when I got more awareness in what I was thinking, I started to see like the negative thoughts and negative emotions and how I feel rise up and allow me to have a greater sense of balance in my life when I was able to notice that. Because let's say if I had a negative thought, I could flip it. I could be like, nope, I can see the silver lining and I won't allow myself to ever feel those emotions and, you know, not feel them in a bad way. It allowed me to really flip a lot of negative situations in my life and not spiral down because of it. And I think the thought vacuum was a very good exercise for helping hone that skill and being able to notice it, but also just to really attack it and really get rid of the whole a negative thought or negative reaction period. Uh, so yeah, this book got a lot of good like in a way it's like I feel like it's a very underrated book. Of course, it's kind of it's like it's kind of like a dark. It's not a dark. It's not a dark book. That's like I said. I think it's a book that's for people that really want to excel and really want to take their life to the next level. It's like a metaphysical or esoteric version of how to win friends and influence people. Is it Dale Carnegie? Yeah, I haven't read that book, but I got it though. But I haven't read it yet. But it's like a metaphysical, esoteric version of that. So, and I'm glad that he made this book because, like I said, he got a lot of books, and it's just very informative, and I just really want to read them all. I'm gonna read them all. I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's my challenge. I'm gonna read the rest of the books. I'm gonna read the rest of the books throughout the rest of the year. I think that I know next month. I know I've been slacking a little bit. I haven't been doing like I haven't been doing any let's say challenges. I'm trying to not challenges, but like experiments. That's what I'm about to start doing for real. It's like some experiments with some of the stuff I'm doing. Like a little scientist. That shit cool. I'm really not that person. I'm really not a real person. But no, my bad. I should be talking to myself like that. But like I'm really about to. I'm about to be uploading every day. So I'm about to be reading a book or reading something informative. I want to get to this book right here. I noticed like, of course, I'm trying to become an energy healer for real, for real. I need to do energy healing in a little bit after I do this, but I want to read this. I know it might be flipped, but it's a sort of encyclopedia of the energy body, but it's just something to know. Of course, I know all this stuff is like theory in a way. Cause like I said, it could be different, but like I said, I just want to learn. That's really what it is. You just want to learn. You want to develop. So yeah, uh, that might be my next video is on like what I'm planning to do again. But yeah, if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next chapter. It's gonna be a good one.